So the speakers who will present joint addresses from 2020, Ashley Lipscombe, MDiv. Ashley. And from 2021, Ana Del Castillo, Ebony. Come on, settle down. Eboni Nash. And last but not least, Kayla Smith. Kayla. So to the dazzling quartet, come and take it away.
Are these on? They are on. Hello. Thanks, everybody. Girl power. Yeah. Invoking memories helps us heal. I want to invite each of you to situate yourself comfortably. Close your eyes and join us as we lead you through a grounding. It's Tuesday afternoon. Our stretch of classes have ended. As we gather our books, share hugs and laughter throughout the halls, a sweet aroma fills the room. At 60 Oxford, our temporary home, or for some, Andover Hall. We wait patiently as Katie and her team create the space for intentional gathering. Tupperware in hands, it's time for community tea.
Remember the many meals, study sessions, and gatherings at the Rock. The great smell from hot buffets, endless chatter, and busybodies moving to and from class. The Rock was a community space we use in every phase of our HDS journey.
In this moment, we breathe in deeply, acknowledging the gift of being here today on this land where we experienced so many seasons. We acknowledge our ancestors, those who came before us on this land, the land of the Massachusetts people. We remember the trees that we sat under, the snow-covered grass we ran through to make it on time to class, the changing seasons that accompanied our own self-transformation.
Remember the amazing events you imagined and co-created together, from solidarity balls to panels and student-led conferences. I may be a little bit biased, but big shout out to the Black Religion, Spirituality, and Culture Conference. All of these things we remember in community and ground us in the work we do. Today we take a deep breath, remember, and open our eyes. Thank you for joining us in this grounding. Today, these beautiful, compassionate, and wonderful sisters and I center the question, what is the soul of this work? How do we find the heart in a world that feels heartless? In the spirit of Bell Hooks, there is no movement for social justice without a love ethic. There is no love without justice. There is no justice without love. Love is direct action, collective community, shared experiences and memories, and accountability. It is my honor to pass the mic today to a truth-telling womanist who, as my roommate, showed me what it means to do the work of justice, healing, and love as a daily practice. A woman who loves hard and one I am personally in awe of. I pass the mic to Miss Kayla J. Smith.
Thank y'all, and thank you, my dear sister Ashley. Yes, love is direct action. Whatever you're doing, just do something and do it through love. I'm here to say, please, make it all count for something. This HDS degree, your time here, and how you choose to live and show up for others going forward, make it count. We were chosen to have this experience, to be equipped to take real action when it is most needed. We unfortunately are witnessing how critical it is to have healers, artists, and pastoral counselors in communities. So we must answer the call. And we are ready. To be here today shows all of our extraordinary resilience. We shared some incredibly tough, but also several joyful moments together. You should be absolutely proud of yourselves. We spent countless hours studying all of these different texts, theories, and theologies. We did a lot of internal work. We also got to be intentionally curious together with people from across the globe. And what did we learn? We will never know or understand it all, but you gain the most when you are being in space with others. How can I know your story and challenges and not do anything to assist with your wellness? This type of love should be extended to all living beings and expansive beyond our flesh. There are loved ones we had here with us at this HDS journey who are no longer here. So continue to make it all count. Also, embrace that proudness from your supportive community to keep pushing towards positive action. With this great honor of being a Harvard Divinity graduate also comes even greater responsibility. So take direct action towards opposing violence and injustices. Take direct action in making sure you are well so you can transform other ecosystems. Take direct action in healing and creating boundaries. Also be direct in how you nourish yourself and honor your roots. I am from Memphis, Tennessee. My family is proudly Orange Mound, which is a community which was the first neighborhood in the United States to be built for and by former enslaved Black people.
Come on, come on.
So I come from a place of action and collaboration. I chose to spend my MDiv journey learning deeply about my ancestors' history and how they have always been unapologetically on their sacred land. We are all connected to a past of people who did great deeds for us to be alive today. They left us powerful tools and resources to survive and to pass it forward through love. May we love through direct action. And now, I'm honored to pass the mic to someone who has been a ray of sunshine to every person she encounters. We share Mississippian roots. M-I, crooked letter I, crooked letter I, humpback I. She'll let you know the South and Latinas got something to say. My fellow Freedom School colleague, I admire how she gracefully and lovingly creates collective communities, Miss Ana Del Castillo.
It's hard to go after Kayla. Thank you so much. Creator, may my words be fueled by you and nurture hearts here today. What a sight, what a gift to look out at so many friends and family members, tias, abuelas, cousins, chosen family mentors. Thank you for being the village that got us here today. Today is as much about you as it is about us. In the midst of the joy of graduation and this big reunion, I know that I am not alone in finding it difficult to be here today. Difficult to, as my beloved professor Terry Tempest Williams says, find beauty in brokenness. Just 5 days ago, 21 innocent lives were taken at the hands of gun violence and unhealed trauma. 18 of them were young Latino children at the start of their lives, watching Lilo and Stitch and excitedly awaiting summer vacation. This massacre occurred only days after 10 Black lives were taken by a white supremacist in a New York grocery store. We feel it. Deep in our bodies, we feel their absence from this earth. We feel it here today. These tragedies are a grain of sand on a shore of death and violence. As I stand here today, fulfilling my parents' wildest dreams, I think about all the victims of violence whose dreams are stolen by guns, systemic injustice, greed, and climate catastrophe. As I proudly wear this Harvard Latinx stole, I think of those children who won't feel the excitement of wearing a cap and gown and crossing a stage like the one in front of joyful families. Today we remember them. May we honor their lives by choosing not to look away. Choosing not to look away, a practice first taught to me by my mother, an activist, healer, and the most fierce lover of God I know, who is crying right now, so don't make me cry. This practice was further strengthened by my time at HDS. I remember sitting with many of you and Professor Cornell West, which shout out. Woo! Yes. Sitting in his fall 2018 course on the life of W.E.B. Du Bois, where he urged us to remove the veil, that we might stay awake, stay alert to the systemic injustices not only on this campus, but beyond Harvard's gates. We remove the veil in a world that tries to make us swallow our rage, swallow our heartache, continue with business as usual, a world that normalizes the passivity of thoughts and prayers without action, while Black and brown folks wonder if they are safe to walk into a grocery store or elementary school. We choose to see. This active decision to witness, to be present with, and to scream from the tops of our lungs about injustice is what makes HDS a formative and sacred community. I see you, all of you, fighting with everything you have to build the better world that is possible. I see you, Charlotte, advocating for survivors of gender-based violence. I see you, Melissa, amplifying the voices of community members who are too often ignored. I see you, Asmira, using hip-hop and body movement to push for liberation. I see you, Lasadie, holding institutions accountable with love and calling people in to join you. I see you, all of you, living a life beyond the veil. When the world is dark and the days are long and it seems like there isn't hope in sight, let us remember that we have each other. Let collective community and radical joy be what propels us in the days to come. Let that call to check in on your bestie be somebody's grace in a world of lonely people. Let wine nights full of deep belly laughs and impromptu karaoke be our places of sacred rest. The work of witnessing is not easy, but together, sprinkled with a little bit of joy, rest, and music, it is possible. HDS class of 2020 and 2021, we have been through some shit. It's true. It's true. And I really wish I could stand here today and tell you that it will get better. But beloveds, we know the battle continues on. Let your rage be your prayer. Choose to see in a world that attempts to blind us with media and screens designed to keep us away. Get proximate. Touch the hands of those who are grieving. Quit your job if it does not feed your soul. Take that risk. Tell someone you love them. Choose to heal. Because what the world needs is for you to feel alive, to be alive, to choose to see. I end with an offering of words from one of my favorite poems by Maya Angelou, titled Continue. And if you were on Professor Moore's Palestine trip, you heard this poem. My wish for you is that you continue. Continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness. Continue. To allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart. Continue. In a society dark with cruelty, let the people hear the grandeur of God and the peals of your laughter. Continue. To dare to love deeply and risk everything for the good thing. Continue. Thank you. Okay. So say everyone crying in the audience, y'all gonna make me cry. So I'm just gonna stop crying. It is now with deep, deep gratitude that I pass the mic to my sister friend and someone for whom I draw fuel and inspiration from, a true steward of justice, and dare I say it, the queen of HDS, Miss Eboni Nash. All this love. All right, I'm gonna shake it up a little bit, so stay with me. Love is shared experience. My name is Ebony Rain Nash, and I am the daughter of Teresa Whitty and the late Ronald Nash. Born from the fabric of hard work and perseverance, raised in a small town in southeastern Colorado, and mentored through the lens of advocacy and liberation. I stand before you today with a heavy heart for our country and our community, and the work laid out before us. As we have heard from many and have experienced firsthand, life is uncertain. So uncertain that of any year to accept our attendance and walk the line of servanthood, we chose now. What a time to get a degree at Harvard University. What a time to pack our bags and move from our homes in a parade of joy. A salutation to our communities. We will return with great news, bearing gifts of legacy and future prosperity. As we approach the infamous Harvard Square, we were promised showers of wonder as the red brick glistened upon our arrival. To be so encircled with excitement and immersed in our studies with a forethought, this will never end. What a time for an upheaval so quick. Ripping the rug beneath us in an email asking us not to return for our safety and for the safety of others. Our homes still framed in the moment as we work to regain footing just in time to close the semester. I can only remember things left unsaid, not experienced, and plans postponed with a rain check in this drought we call life. What a time displaced. Milking memories to feed our progression, apologies and sympathies as we struggle to balance academia with the weight of the world, and for many, the weight of existence. Yet again, Harvard became soon too far to touch, nevertheless hold the shimmer of light in our eyes, and no longer from dreams, but the reflection of our computer screens. A bitter taste litters the tongue as we exercise the unmute button to claim our seat back in procession. What a time to have to fight for justice. Not only personally, but professionally, to read of our ancestors' struggle for agency while the world around us negotiates our value through a political campaign. To beg the university for the redirection of their funds, removing their knee from the PIC, the prison industrial complex.
What a time to have gathered in this space today as a guest, as alumni, as the current practitioners forced to practice while in practice. Call us exploratory healers, determined survivors. As familiar and unfamiliar this ground is to me, I still found home in each of your smiles, in each of your laughs, and in the memories we shared together. What a time to celebrate. Although not ideal to have experienced the potential of this university through the confines of technology, we did it. We faced the unimaginable, proving that praxis is a crucial part of the process to serving our communities. Where many saw this as a saving grace to our family, breaking the cycle, first generation. And a disruption to the existing infrastructure. I'm proud to stand before you today beside these three incredibly BIPOC women and say we made it. Only within the past 67 years could we, as women, have had this opportunity to make it at this institution. Congratulations, class of 2020 and class of 2021. We have been putting in the work since our first day together, and we will continue to do the work until justice is embodied, until love fills the saucer beneath our cups, and until the world foresees better days. From a wilderness first responder, the founder of the Institute of Anti-Racist Education, directing efforts with the Malcolm X and Dr. Betty Shabazz Center, the many PhD tracks among our community, and so much more to recount our legacy. Let us rejoice in these memories, those heavy and those light, and let us remember the resilience displayed through our moments of adversity. We are class of 2020 and class of 2021, familiar to few, but remembered by all, the anomalies. Because when the world has nowhere else to look, they look to us. As I close this moment, I want to ask, where will you look? Toward our people incarcerated on the inside, our families lacking adequate housing, healthcare, and safety, to the victims of violence as a result of poor legislation, to the population who are heard the least and hushed the most, where will you look, HDS? So much love for all of you. And as much love as I have for you, I'm so excited to pass the mic to one of my dearest friends, my mentor, somebody who saw me in my chaos, the first person to affirm my existence within the university, an individual I share experience with and hope to cultivate more, a woman I will learn from for the rest of my life, Ashley Lipscombe.
I was told I only have 5 minutes, but I'm a Black Baptist preacher, and I don't follow rules. Y'all nominated me to do this in 2020. You knew what you were getting into, okay? Love is accountability. Today is a day of celebration. You have worked for this. Those who love you best have watched you sacrifice. Watch you take time away from them, watch you miss events so that you can study, take financial risks, have tough conversations to maintain your boundaries as a graduate student. You know, Ebony said this in her speech virtually in 2021. She says so eloquently the words of Du Bois, and I echo those words today. The honor, I assure you, was Harvard's. You are the gift. You are the gift that keeps on giving. From 2020 until now, we, the alumni of HCS, hold the tools that the world needs. Many of you have gone on in these 2 years to different fields, and there you have reminded them about how you care for the humanity of those closest to you, the humanity of those who are most vulnerable to the world's systemic oppression. As graduates in the study of religion, you have unpacked the ways that spirituality grounds us as we ask the tough questions. How do you show up for children who experience violence and they are sacred? How do you show up for the communities who are grieving the loss of their elders due to white supremacist patriarchy? How? How do you show up for communities when you, too, are feeling the weight of all of this as you live out in the world? How? In this discipline, we are the ones who others look to for a foundation. They ask us for understanding. They seek us out for the answers and for a little bit of hope. You are the ones who have to show up in all of this. So I ask you, how do you do it? You just do. Because that, my dear friends, that's the work. You just show up. You've had the controversial conversations on this campus. You've protested and called for divestment from this university, even if they haven't shown accountability to you. You've fought for this. You have been present as chaplains in universities, in hospitals, in jails, in prisons. You have shown up for your friends who were sick. You have shown up for your friends who have lost loved ones. You have visited those who are most in need. You have brought food to the tables of those of us who are struggling financially. You've done the work.
Yes,
And again, I say, the honor, I assure you, was Harvard's. And for those of you who felt like you didn't do that work, I would stand here and say, shame on you. But we all have failed at one point in our lives. We all have messed up and maybe missed the mark, but this is the opportunity to get it right. You've been out in the world for 2 years, showing up, and you return today, and the reminder is love is accountability. Love is you showing up. Show up and remind each of us of the beauty of what it means to be human, because there are moments when we forget to do just that. There are moments when we fail, each of us. There are moments when we forget how to love. You see, there are other Harvard alums who, on occasion, have become congressmen, senators, presidents, celebrities, leaders, entrepreneurs, and they have walked these similar halls that you have walked, but you see, they've made decisions that would support enslavement, build racist institutions, conduct bias and offensive research, create policies and laws that would enable mass incarceration and many other crimes against humanity. That's why, after the long-awaited celebration, you must continue to show up, to remind those other alumni how love is actually supposed to work in real time. Show up when they won't pass a hate crime bill. Show up when they deny women the right to do as they please with their bodies. Show up when the... Show up when the loud and wrong would try to distort the accurate telling of history in our schools. Show up when policies enable violence against our trans siblings. Show up because the list of oppressive and violent tactics against our communities is far too long to mention in 5 minutes. Show up when you have the words, and show up when you don't. Show up when you have all the tools and show up when you have to find them. You are the ones who provide new ways of breathing in a world of unbreathable circumstances. Unlock your imagination and create a world we have never seen before, because we need you. So I close with this question: who are you accountable to, and how will you show up for them? You will need to know this, because when the going gets rough and life just lifes you, sometimes it's hard to keep going. But I encourage you to remember your who, your what, and your why. Who will be impacted if you don't show up? Who will miss out on that opportunity if you don't leverage your privilege? Who will miss out because you are not speaking the truth right from your bones? There is a reason they need you to show up. What systems will continue to harm communities like mine if you don't dismantle them? What liberated future that you have imagined won't come to fruition if you don't show up and do the work? Your answers to these questions is what's going to change and transform the work. Your answers to these questions is what will inspire you to keep going and to keep doing what you must. My matriarchal village answers my who, my what, and my why. They are, and the community that loves me are who I am accountable to. In the spirit of Alice Walker, I will fight to protect my home. You see, I am the great-granddaughter of Delzora Starr, who is the wife of a sharecropper who knew that your faith will make a way out of no way. I am the granddaughter of Mamie Lipscombe, who is in the audience, who showed me how to stretch a little. Who showed me how to stretch limited resources so that they reach someone else's table who's asking for help. My paternal grandmother, Pauline Sappington, may she rest in peace, showed me how to sit in silence and observe, because that is where your discernment will come from. My mother, Sylvia, who has faced inhumane treatment behind a prison cell, who's also celebrating with me today, taught me how to speak with my heart and never let the world strip me of my joy. I am the niece of Kimberly, who's also here celebrating, who taught me the importance of honoring my name and never letting anyone disrespect the history I carry with me. Yeah. I hope you take the lessons they have taught me and you carry them with you. Because again, the honor, I assure you, is Harvard's. And if that's the case, I can't wait to see what you offer to the rest of the world. To the class of 2020 and to the class of 2021. As Kayla said earlier, make it count. And now I pass the mic to all of you. Congratulations.